video, we're going to have a look at creating some additional maps to help with our painting. Before we do that, you may notice that the interface that has changed slightly, and all I've done here is I've just changed a few of these palettes around just to make things a little clearer as we move forwards through this project. And I've renamed these layers just so it makes it a little easier for us to understand which ones are which. So for example here, the dinosaur, teeth, color, bake. I've also positioned my texture editor in the top here. This allows me to toggle between the different UV sets that we baked out. So before we begin creating our additional maps here, I want to focus on a small area here of the neck. And if I move the model around here, we can see that we've got some really nice high definition areas here where that texture's baked through quite nicely. But here we've got a slightly more smoothed area, and that might be fine. But what if we wanted to create more texture in these areas as well? Well, we don't have to necessarily go back and rebake everything, although that is a possibility. What we can do is actually create those normal maps now inside of the Paint workspace. Let me show you how to do that. I'm going to use the Dino 4K UV set, which is this one that we can see in the preview here. And as we discussed in the last video, that will update all the layers that we work on regarding that UV set within our layers palette. The normal map on here is already selected, but we're not going to add any details to the normal map. We're going to create an extra layer and add normal map details to that specific layer. This gives us a lot more flexibility, and we can dial in and out those additional elements quite easily using our sliders at the top here. Now this is a good time for me to incorporate any additional normal map information before I do the baking of the additional maps. Ensure that your sculpt tree and the sculpt objects that we have in the sculpt room are not being displayed in the paint room. So we must make sure that these are turned off. Okay, let's make a new layer now here, and I'm going to call this one normal map extra detail. And you can make as many of these layers as you need and build up extra details on top of the existing normal map that we baked during the baking process. Up here you can see we have our normal map channel active, and the color and specular are now turned off. So I'm only going to be working with normal map information. So I'm going to go over to the brush here, and I'm going to choose this icon here, which is the drag brush. And I'm going to use a brush that's the same type of brush that we used in the sculpt room where we were creating our details in the sculpt area. So I'm going to just choose one of these brushes and zoom into this area where it's a little bit too smooth, and I want to add some extra details to this layer, to this area, and I'm going to click and I'm going to drag this new detail level over the top. So I can essentially choose any of these brushes from this pack here and just create some additional detail levels where I feel it's a little bit too smooth or lacking in details from the bake. Let's go around to the other side and just add some details around here as well. Let's move over to this area here. That doesn't look too bad. And let's just, so I don't need to actually create these at this sort of depth. I do have control over the depth here. So if I just undo that and I just reduce this down, let's say to 3, and I can make a much more subtle normal map detail. So we can go over this now and fill in any areas that we feel need a little extra detail adding. And don't forget that on this layer I can use my depth opacity and reduce the whole and reduce all of the details that I've added to this layer in one go. So let's change this value from 100% to 50%, and this will affect the depth only of that layer. And you can see it's just reduced that down a little bit more. So we're not limited to what we do inside of the sculpt room when we bake to a low poly object. If we find there are areas where the bake didn't quite work how we wanted, but we don't want to rebake everything again, we can tweak using these brushes and the normal map channel. So with that covered, let's enable all our objects, which is the spine and the teeth, as well as the body that's already activated. So if we wanted to use smart materials, we have to have some additional maps that helps the smart material. These can be very powerful in helping us to texture our object, but they require additional maps. Now, if we select one of these, it will automatically go ahead and start to generate the maps required to use this particular material. However, I want to show a more manual way of doing this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to Edit, and I'm going to go to this section here in the drop down menu. I'm going to start with the occlusion. So I'm going to click on that, and it's going to give me a dialog box. For now, I'm just going to keep everything at default and say OK. And 3DCoat now will generate an occlusion map, and it will use the baked information in here to generate an occlusion map for this particular model, including all the intersections of these additional layers of models that we've created, the spines and the teeth. And with that done, you can see that an extra layer has been generated here called Ambient Occlusion. If I click on this layer here and take a look maybe inside the mouth here, you can see on the teeth it seems to be going darker at the bottom. And if I toggle this on and off, you can see that occlusion map being added. So wherever we have areas where the light cannot reach, then 3DCoat is calculating those areas and adding this map based on where the light it thinks is unable to reach and where areas intersect. Let's have a look over here. We can see a more contrasted area here. Let's turn that on and off so we can see with and without. So where these two meet, the spine and the body, not much light is going to be able to hit these areas, and it's trying to put in kind of a shadow area or an occlusion area here. Now, as well as those areas, it will have worked on all of these little creases and cavities that we see in here. Okay, that's our occlusion map. Let's now do the same again, and this time let's calculate a curvature. But there is one exception here, which is called map type. And 3DCoat has two different types of curvature. One is an RGB curvature, and if we click on this little option here and drag the mouse down, we can see we've got this second option for a curvature as well. I'm going to choose this second option just for now, and we'll return to the RGB curvature in another video. So let's just say OK. So by default, once finished, 3DCoat turns off the layer that it's generated, because this layer, the curvature, works in the background for these smart materials. Let's turn it on so we can actually see what it created. So here we can see that essentially what it's done is wherever there are cavities or areas where the skin is indented, it's put in this very hard shadow in that area. These are very useful for the smart material to work correctly, but they are also very useful even if you don't want to use smart materials, just for general painting purposes. For example, if we let's turn off the ambient occlusion and let's start to use our opacity on this layer here, we can dial back the opacity of that layer there, And then we get this much more acceptable look to our dinosaur. And we can use this to help us paint in the shadow areas, these cavities on our dinosaur. So these additional maps here can be very useful. And don't forget that we can also, let's go back to our ambient occlusion map here, and where it's a little bit difficult to see as opposed to the curvature map, which was quite high contrast, we can always just duplicate this file, this layer. Let's unlock it, and we can see that every time I duplicate, it's getting darker and darker. So much like in Photoshop, we can duplicate our layers to get the types of effects that we want if that initial bake wasn't quite what we wanted. Additionally, we can use our blending modes as well. So for example, I can use a multiply on this very top ambient occlusion layer, and you can see how much that darkened the interior of the mouth area there. And you can also see what it's doing on our UV map as well. These are extremely useful maps that we can just bake, and 3DCoat will calculate those based on all that normal detail that we initially baked from our sculpt. So here you can see that with my curvature map set to 22% and doubling up on these ambient occlusion layers here, already the dinosaur has started to take on quite some interesting details, and I haven't even started painting yet. We haven't really looked at the layering in terms of blending opacities, masking, and those layers combined with the smart materials give you a very powerful texture editing solution inside of 3DCoat. So in the next video, we'll use all of these maps, including the RGB curvature, and begin our actual painting of our dinosaur. See you next time.